Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. We are backstage at the Today Show, and I'm with one of my favorite directors, and he's redone Ghostbusters. How cool! Mr. Paul Feig is joining me, and we're talking about Ghostbusters is back. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. All right, Paul Feig. So congratulations, man. Ghostbusters was one of my favorite movies growing up.
It's so great.
And you get to remake it. How cool is that?
It's really fun. I mean, I'm such a huge fan of the original. When I was there opening day, back when I was in film school, we went to the first showing of it, and my friends and I were just completely blown away with that comedy could be that funny, but that big with giant special effects.
When you get to take on an iconic franchise like that, I mean, you've had such a brilliant run with comedies, from Bridesmaids to Spy, but to take on something of that nature, is there a pressure involved as a director?
Well, what pressure could there possibly be out there? No, it's look, you're stepping into something very treacherous waters because it's a classic. It's like remaking The Godfather, but at the same time, what I love about it is it's such an amazing showcase, an idea for funny people. And where this one showcased the funniest cast possible back then, 30 years later we can do a new one with the funniest cast we have now and really let them play. And then on top of it, we have all the modern day special effects we can do.
One of the things I loved, you'd mentioned the original cast, obviously legends, icons.
Yeah.
But you have today's legends and icons. I mean, Kristen and Melissa, I mean, these are the most powerful and funny female women on the planet. When you get a cast like that together, what kind of joy is that for you as a director?
You know what? It makes my job easy, first of all. And then it's just so much fun, when having them on set. You just kind of set them free, and then I just sort of guide from the side. I mean, that's the way I like to direct. We work really hard on the script, make sure it's right, but then it's kind of a roadmap for us each scene, and say, well, however we get from point A to point B, that's where we have the fun. And when you unleash these ladies, it's a lot of fun.
Comedy is so difficult, but yet you make it look so easy. How do you make things funny? What is the process? When do you understand, hey, this joke will work, this bit will work?
Well, you almost don't know when you're shooting the movie. You set up a lot of scenarios and then you let them happen, and you get a lot of alts. So we shoot a lot of stuff, and so we'll do a ton of takes and play around, and I'll be throwing in new jokes, and they'll be coming up with ones, and Katie Dippold, who wrote the script with me, she's there writing on a Post-it pad and handing me jokes. So we have a ton. So by the time we get back to the editing room, that's where we really figure it out, and then we do a lot of test screenings and go, well, we think this is funny, and then you put it in front of an audience, and they'll tell you if it's funny or not. But, where you fall down in comedies if you go, I know this is funny, because you'll be proven wrong a lot of the time.
When you get, and I don't want to give anything away from the movie, but when you get some of the cameos that you were able to get, what do those phone calls look like? Is it like, hey, person X, can you show up for the movie? Are they calling you? What is that? Walk me through this process.
Well, for us, the nice thing was everybody was so excited about this movie that I had heard people were interested in doing it anyway. And then, but like with, like Bill, he was so supportive of us from the first day I announced I was going to do an all-female cast, even before we had written the script. And he was already saying, oh yeah, you should cast Kristen, Melissa, and he was very supportive. So he's a little, you don't know if you're going to get Bill to come by, but then, he came and wanted to be a part of it. And it was so nice to have everybody show up. It feels kind of like comedic history when they walk onto the set of your new Ghostbusters movie.
Chris Hemsworth steals the show.
He's a funny man.
People don't realize it about him. I mean, he's done so many incredible dramas. He's a great actor, but how did you know he was going to be funny?
Well, I had heard from my agent that he was interested in doing something in the film. We had written this role of the receptionist. We thought, we'll cast one of our comedian friends. And then you go, wow, can we get Thor to be the receptionist?
We need Thor.
We have to get Thor. Call the Norse gods and send him down. But then I had lunch with him, and he was just so naturally charming and funny. But what I loved is when he's talking in his normal Australian accent, there was something extra funny about him and fun. And so I said, Chris, I just want you to kind of play this like yourself, which he was very happy about. And I think it allowed him to really be at his full powers. But, he's kind of like this comedic genius in a weird way, because he came to me first before we started shooting and says, I don't know if I can improvise. These women are so funny. I was like, Chris, don't worry, we're going to write you a ton of jokes. He shows up on the set and starts improvising with these women. His whole interview scene, I mean, half of his jokes are things he made up on the set. So we all bow down. You can't be that handsome, that talented, and that funny. It's not fair.
I hate him.
Chris,
I hate you, Chris. My last question is, Ghostbusters defined a generation. What do you hope your Ghostbusters gives to this generation?
You know what? I want to give a new generation, a new group of attainable superheroes. That's what I love about the Ghostbusters ethos, is that they are superheroes, but they're normal, mortal human beings like us, but they've used their brains and their bravery and their innovation to be able to take on an enormous threat. There's a paranormal invasion, but they're real people. They've just harnessed the power of their brains and their will to do things, to take things on. I think that's such a great message for people, and also to have both boys and now girls have Ghostbusters that they can see themselves in. Really, it means a lot to me.